I made it. Mm. Today is day 7. I did not record a video for day 6. So there's a couple days I missed. Yesterday was pretty uneventful. I did go to see a movie, Lilo and Stitch, and it was really sad to go to the movie theater and not have popcorn and sweets because for me, that's like one of the most exciting things about going to the movies is having treats while you're watching the movie. Um, but I didn't. I was, however, very tired. This is like, I don't know, mid afternoon or so. Yeah. Right now, I'm going to take my first sip. Sorry, we're super quick segue of vegetable broth I added some ginger in here. Um, so this is my first sip of like bringing in some stuff. So I have vegetable broth here. So here we go. Cheers. This is my very first refeeding process. And it's salty and delicious and gingery. Mm. 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 Oh my gosh, there's onion in there. Wow, that feels really strong. I imagine probably my taste senses are heightened. I don't know. Wow, that's really oniony. Wow, that's weird. Okay, anyways. Yeah, so I'm breaking my fast with vegetable broth, and then I'm also making a soup right now that is going to have the vegetable broth, ginger, broccoli, zucchini, and peas. And yeah. Oh, and some lemon juice. So I'm going to blend that so that I don't want to have solid food right away. So I'm going to blend that and have just a blended soup. And that's going to be my first meal. Just kind of see how that goes and how my body feels with it. Yeah, today was also like pretty uneventful on like in the fasted state. No, I really no physical symptoms. Um, but I have been kind of thinking like today is the end of this container that I set. So I've been kind of reflecting on the past week and a couple of things I guess that themes that feel like have come through is really one about boundaries and boundaries in like every sense of the word. Boundaries in my own mind with my own thoughts. I tend to think about my business a lot, and that really impacts my ability to be present. I also tend to worry in my mind a lot about certain things, and that affects my ability to be present and also to be in joy. And so just creating boundaries like in my own mind around thoughts even. Um, Also boundaries with other people. If anyone ended up watching or ends up watching this whole series, there's one video on one of the days, I can't remember which one, maybe 4 or 5, where I go into like a pretty lengthy explanation process, like verbal processing of an experience I had in like a situationship that I had, and I just realized how much I was lacking boundaries even within that, and how much like I just give of myself so much and really don't safeguard that. And it's so interesting because that was the case in my marriage too, that ended in divorce. And so it's like surfacing again in a much milder way, thank God. But still very painful, right? Like my heart still aches and my heart is still really sad about that whole situation and relationship, you know, whatever it was. And it's just really given me pause for reflection of like, so much of this is because I'm not boundaried in how much of my energy I'm giving to another person. And I don't even mean it in like a oh, if I'm not getting something back, then don't give them my energy. I just mean period, right? Like, where are the boundaries in my life? Boundaries for everything. Boundaries for my own personal care, right? Boundaries against what I'm eating, what I'm consuming, both in like food and like, especially in food. Oh, I was at the grocery store today and I'm gonna go to that in a few minutes, but boundaries around what I'm consuming, you know, what like, my activities, right? Because it's really important for me and my lifestyle to be balanced, right? Balanced in my work, balanced in my play, balanced in my learning, balanced in my creativity, and not having boundaries or structure, not even structure. I don't like the concept of structure as much because, but it's a little bit of structure. It's flexible structure, but boundaries, right? Like knowing when, for me, like knowing when to say, oh, I can't keep hanging out with you. I need to go home and I need to honor my nighttime ritual. Or, oh, like I can't be picking up my phone and looking at social media or texting people back like at all these random times of the day. Like I need to be focused and I need to be getting my work done. Or I need to be creating, you know, or whatever it is. And so I'm just really looking at, and what has been a theme over this week and over this experience has been, wow, I drain my energy in a lot of different ways. And I'm not very boundaried in any of them. And so, so that's been a big theme, right? And that comes down to, this really comes down to a couple of things for me. And one is self-care, self-leadership, honoring my needs, acknowledging my needs, respecting my needs, and creating boundaries around that so that those needs are met. And also there's this air of like, how do I want to word this? I think it is like recognizing my value a little bit. And I think that comes from this experience that I had, like with this other person. But I just am so good at being hard on myself and not giving myself enough credit. And when I do that, then that's where I don't necessarily take care of my own needs, because I'm like, well, I need to push harder. I need to work harder. I need to extend myself more. I need to, you know, kind of keep going on this go, 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 go thing because I have to prove my value or prove my worth or something. And it all comes back to this kind of like chasing, striving, overextending energy, right? Not honoring my values and not standing firm and like, yeah, but I am valuable and I am worthy. And that's unconditional, but not only is it unconditional, but if it were conditional, I'd still be knocking it out of the park. Like, I know who I am and I know my value system and I know how I treat people and I know how I show up in the world and the service that I give and the like I'm happy and content with me when I like pause and like the little gremlin that likes to criticize everything and is like hard on myself and I like let him go play in a playpen somewhere and I objectively look at who I am as a human being and I'm very happy with that. Like I, for the most part, am in alignment with my values. I feel like I have really good integrity. I feel like I'm deepening my practice of being authentic and true inside and out and not wearing masks and not, you know, I just honoring God, honoring nature, honoring the earth, honoring other people. Like, I just am a good human. And I think for whatever reason, I just don't allow myself to like acknowledge that. And in that, I think that there's like, I mean, I don't want to get too intellectual with it, but I think that there's a little bit of like self-punishment or like I don't know, like, well, you could be better, right? Like basically, basically like you're not a saint. You're not fully embodied in Christ consciousness. And so you're not there yet, right? And like, I don't know. I think that's spiritual ego, probably. So really just being mindful of that and being like, wait, no, actually, I love me. I love me exactly how I am. And in loving me, I want to care for myself so very deeply. And that absolutely includes my relationship with food and my relationship with my body. I also like, I guess in the past couple of days, I think this has been because I've been tired, but it's also been like, I've just been going slower. I was grocery shopping today and I just was moving slow. And again, part of this is because I'm fasting, but like even when I get up, right? Like I just get up so fast and like my head will rush a little bit. And it's just, wow, noticing like how fast I go and move through my life. And so I've just been realizing like, oh, it's been really nice to just go slow, to not rush everywhere, to not rush from one activity to the next, to not, to just be more present and slow down, which is something that I really wanted and is also like helps me to understand my body. Like a couple of times over the past couple of days, I've noticed like when my shoulders start raising and yeah, it's just been really really nice to kind of have those observations. I had a really nice experience at the grocery store. Because it just felt like for the first time being in the grocery store, I'm always looking to food for comfort and to feel good. And today, going into the grocery store and preparing, like gathering what I was going to have basically for my refeeding phase, it wasn't about comfort or like getting that like dopamine hit or whatever it is, like that relationship that I had with food before this fast. It wasn't about like trying to get something from food in like a sensory pleasure kind of way or an emotional pleasure kind of way. It was, I was in the store and I was really considering like, what does my body need and what is going to be the most beneficial for my body, while also still being delicious. And yes, like a pleasure to eat, but like that's secondary to nurturing my body and caring for my body and giving my body what it needs. And so it was just an entirely different energetic experience that I had at the grocery store. So I ended up getting some stuff for some like fruit bowls that I'm gonna make, like fruit, like kind of, I think I'm gonna kind of make, I think they call them like the acai bowls or whatever. I literally have never had one. But I was like looking up some recipes for them, and I just think that it's going to be a really delicious like way to start my morning, getting a lot of fruit and just nutrients that way, and kind of going forward, not necessarily like day 1 or day 2, but just kind of in general. I did get some watermelon. That is going to be like one of the first solid foods that I eat, because I saw that that was recommended by a few different websites. Mm. Mm. So, what else? What else? What else? Yeah, I was looking at some granola to add to those bowls, and in the store, the selection that they had like had some additives and stuff like that, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna give it a go making my own, because I really don't want additives, and I'm really feeling called to come back to like really as whole of food as possible and as clean of food as possible. And it is so wild and sad to me that at least in the United States, just so much has added oil or added sugar to it. I was looking at dried fruit, and they add sugar and oil to most dried fruit. And even if you get the no sugar added, which is easier to find, it usually still has oil in it for, anti-caking purposes or whatever, but nonetheless, like, it still has oil in it, and it's just like, ugh. So I'm just really feeling called to make my own food. Even the soups, I was looking at the soups, because I was contemplating getting like a canned soup, and a lot of soups have a lot of oils added into them. And yeah, it's just like, ugh, canola oil. A lot of times it's not even olive oil, which is like better. It's like canola oil or sunflower oil, or like some of those oils that are just not super great for your system, especially when they're in like, so anything that you get basically that is like put together by someone else, there's an oil or a preservative added to it. It's just wild. Even the healthy stuff, like, don't get me wrong, I love Trader Joe's, but if you actually look at like 90% of the products that Trader Joe's offers, it's just glorified processed food. It's really not like I love Trader Joe's, okay? Don't get me wrong. I will still shop at Trader Joe's. There are gems that Trader Joe's has for sure. But it's just, I mean, it's just not much better. Um, it's this whole issue, I think, that we have in America where we have become so reliant upon processed food. And not even, and because that's been the way that our food industry has evolved, right? Like there's so many layers to how deep and wrong this, I think it's wrong, this goes, but because it makes us sick, because it's not natural. It's not, we wouldn't naturally be consuming that much oil and that much sugar. So it's a lot for our bodies to handle and to process. And we've just gotten so, it's in everything now. And because of that, and because we live in this culture where we're working all of the time, and then we have kids, and it's like there's just this giant time scarcity thing, and so we really rely on convenience. So when somebody else makes the soup, then we don't have to make the soup, and then, that's great, right? But then we get all those added oils and sugars and chemicals that we just don't need, that just don't really serve a purpose other than maybe to preserve a shelf life. And so, anyways, that's kind of a rant, but yeah, it was really nice to go to the store today and just lead with what is the most loving choice that I can make for myself here? And what is, yeah. And it turns out like it wasn't that expensive. Like when you really have Whole Foods and make the time to make it yourself, my grocery bill was $60, and I don't know, depending on how much food this makes, that'll probably last me for the week. And I ended up getting, vegetable broth and coconut milk were some of the more expensive things, or like higher ticket items compared to like the fruit. The berries are still kind of expensive. I cannot wait when I end my nomad journey. I really want to grow a garden. When I settle back down somewhere, I would love to make my own fruit or grow my own fruit. Make my own fruit. Just kidding. God, that's you. Thank you. Anyways, I don't really know how much I have, other than this has just been a really beautiful journey of deepening into self-love and deepening into listening to my body, and hopefully internally in ways that I can't see and that I haven't been measuring. This is a largely intuitive thing. This is not like a medical thing. This is not like I want to see, I was not tuning into that. I did weigh myself. I've lost about 12 pounds. Probably about half that is the water weight. But that's really the only metric that I use, just because I was curious, not because this really has nothing at all to do with why I was doing this fast, but I was curious. I've done fast before, and every single time it's like the weight comes back. I think the longest fast I've done is 4 or 5 days, which isn't like a lot of time to get into like a fat burning process anyways, but it's like the weight that you lose on a fast comes back when you start eating food again, because, well, you have the weight that lives in your intestines, which is just like, kind of always there if you're eating on a regular basis. And then yeah, like the water weight that you hold. So there's just a lot. Yeah. So anyways, just had nothing to do with why I was doing this fast. But I was curious nonetheless. What else? I did do an enema. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I did do an enema about halfway through. Just to, again, clean and cleanse out anything that was in my colon. That was pretty interesting because some stuff came out. And this is on like, I think I did the enema on day 4 and 5. So it was like after 3 days of not eating anything, there was still stuff in my colon. And I'm like, ew, so gross. Like, it just, to me, is like this, like, ooh, it just, how is it that there's still stuff in there when I haven't eaten anything? Like, it's just weird that it doesn't, like, all kind of get out. I don't know. I'm kind of a fan of enemas. Not like super intensely. Coffee enemas were like a big thing for a while. I've never done a coffee enema. I've really just done saline enemas. One of the enemas that I did do was aloe juice and probiotics. I just kind of made my own solution. And yeah, but never done a coffee one. Anyways, what else? I don't know. I'm really excited to have some food, some soup, and I'm excited to be really cultivating and deepening and appreciating this new relationship that I'm forming to food that is really about love and nutrition first. And something else that's come up for me that I think I'm not going to be a stickler about, because I'm not really a stickler about anything. I love the 80-20 principle. I really do, because it feels like that gives some flexibility to like indulge in the nummy things, and just gives some space to not be perfect, right? With anything, not just food, but with like anything in life. There's, excuse me, in Bhakti Yoga, or like the Hare Krishna community, which I'm not a devotee per se, but I really resonate with that message, and I really resonate with a lot of the principles. And I first came to Krishna through the Bhagavad Gita, and I just really resonate. So I don't know if in a past life I was a devotee or what, but the Bhakti Yoga, or like I don't even know like what the like official like diet, like not diet like a fad diet, but like the lifestyle, like the diet that you eat for your life as a devotee. I've been really kind of like interested and kind of called to that. And so, why did I bring that up? Oh, one of the things with that is that like they really love their food. Their food is like, they offer their food to Krishna, and they are in deep relationship to their food, and it's this like receiving of this really profound blessing that Krishna gives. And it's like, it's this beautiful exchange and honor and appreciation. And that's really, I love that also, like that spiritual aspect of remembering like, hey, this food is a gift. This food is life force energy and sustenance that allows me to be alive and have a human experience. And that's really important to honor and appreciate, and not just mindlessly consume, and not care about, which I am guilty of, like a lot. If I'm being honest, like, man, one of my favorite vices is getting high and just like nomming on some snacks. And yeah, I will probably still do that to, like, I don't know, hopefully as like a treat or some, like, not regularly, but either way, like, I'm just saying, like, when I do that, I'm kind of like, it's not about being in a relationship to my food. It's about like appeasing this desire, this lust for food, for me, like, yeah, junk food, like junk food a lot, especially if I'm getting high. But it's kind of like this mindless, like, I don't know, I'm trying to like convey the energy or like the intention behind it. I don't know if that's coming through, but I just don't want to do that anymore. You know, um, I really, I really want to view food as my medicine, and for living a healthy and vital and strong life and well. And I've also realized like how much what I eat has an effect on my mental health. So that's a really big deal too. And I just really care about being well and being vital and being strong in my mind, body, and spirit. And food is a daily practice is the word that's coming up for me. I hope that that's how I associate with it kind of going forward. Like, it's a daily devotion. It's an opportunity to honor spirit, to honor Mother Earth, and to honor myself. If I treat it that way and I come at it with that perspective and that consciousness, and I really want to. Oh, it just gave me like a weird message. That was bizarre. Anyways, I could probably wind down anyways. Um, this was a really beautiful experience. I could see me doing this a couple times a year, and then doing, I think what I'm gonna experiment with how I want to do fasting. I think for sure I'm gonna adopt intermittent fasting, which I've done, but then fell off the wagon of doing. But then also maybe like a monthly fast that's longer, maybe like 48 hours or 36 hours or something, or 72. Yeah, 2 or 3 days. Listen, I'm not a math person. Um, it's really, it's whatever. Thank God for the internet and technology. Um, but yeah, so I think I'll experiment with that because this is nice, and I feel like it does kind of like create that coming back into appreciation for food when you have the abstinence of it, right? Like, absence makes the heart grow fonder kind of thing. And I really feel that. And yeah. Anyways, this is a beautiful experience. Just to be really clear, I did this really intuitively, in a place of deep trust, because again, I didn't really consciously plan this. It kind of just came to me. It kind of felt like it was signaled, like, hey, this would be helpful for you. Um, like, spiritually, like my guides, basically. And so I just kind of trusted it. I trusted the process. I trusted myself. I didn't go into it with any like hard and fast rules. And I was like, if I feel like I need to stop before the 7 days, I will. But for me, the only negative physical experiences I had was one night I had a really bad headache. And then just low energy. But of course, that's to be expected. And so, I really didn't have any negative experiences. The girl that the woman that kind of that I had observed and was like watching her 7-day fast journey, she said that she ended up like vomiting throughout her fast, but I think for her that was kind of like a spiritual purging kind of thing, but I didn't have that. I feel like I had a really easy go of it. I really, really do. And so, if you're considering it, of course, it's probably the most wise to consult a medical professional and, have someone, I don't know. Listen, I really have the belief that our bodies have immense wisdom and intelligence, the same intelligence that created it, right? And so it has an immense power to heal itself. It has an immense power to signal to us when something is wrong. Our intuition has an immense power to let us know, like to sense when something feels off or wrong or bad. And I just really believe in that. And so, even a medical professional or somebody else, like they might be saying something that doesn't maybe resonate with you and your body and what you know to be true for you. And I think that that's real. Like, I think that our bodies and our intuition are the leading authority for our bodies and our life and in our choices. And so, yeah, but yeah, of course, like, right? Like no one's gonna say, oh yeah, just like do this on your own and don't do anything. Don't consult anybody or whatever. So anyways, I really enjoyed this experience. It was amazing. If you're considering it, please be safe and please be in touch with your intuition and please don't try to push through, if it doesn't feel right. But for me, it definitely was. Also, yeah, also recommend like building up, right? Like, that way you start to understand how you feel and what your experience is when your body is fasting. And then that way you can have greater discernment between what's maybe kind of just a symptom or something that your body is releasing versus like if something's really wrong and you need to stop. Anyways, I'm going to stop talking now. I think I've covered all the points. I really enjoyed this experience. If you followed along, thank you. I love you. Wishing you well, sending you wellness, because that's what I'm really working on cultivating for myself. And by doing so, I want to cultivate that for my human family. We're one human family. I love you. Bye.